Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well. Now, when it comes to buying a new Tesla, there's not that many options. There's a few colours, a couple of wheels, and a couple of different interiors. However, on the market today, there's an increasing number of aftermarket modifications, enhancements that you can carry out to your car. So in this video, I've gathered together a raft of different Teslas here with some different modifications that you might want to consider carrying out on one of your cars if you want to give that little bit more of a personal touch. So we've got lowered Model Y, we've got aftermarket wheels, we've got body kits on a Model 3, we've got a wrapped car, we've got a PPF car, ceramic coating, aftermarket spoiler, and a whole load of other things, swivel screens, yoke steering wheels. So I've gathered them in here today, and we're going to run through some of those different options and accessories in a little bit more detail. And then you'll be able to find a little bit more information on our website as well, rsev.co.uk. Okay, I'm just going to start off with our own Model 3 first, and then we'll get on to some of the kind of nitty-gritty bits over here. So with our Model 3, it looks very standard, and it basically is very standard. However, we've carried out on this car a few options which will help protect the car to a large degree. So especially on dark colours like the black, paint protection film is one of the things we did on this car straight away before we drove the car. And a paint protection film is a thin, clear coating which is applied. It's like a vinyl wrap that goes over this car. On this case, it's just a front end, but you can do the whole car. And that protects the car from all those little stone chips, which on a dark colour particularly show up. It's not a cheap option, it costs quite a lot of money, but it does keep the car looking really fresh and clean. Doesn't stop you, if you have a car graze in the car park, it can go through that plastic film. However, what it does prevent is all those little stone chips, plus bird poo stains. And if you get light scratches, maybe from hedges, or just the swirl marks on the car from washing, with this film out in the sun, out in the warmth, it will actually kind of self-heal. Now, we've done another video where I get a wire brush and I scratch the bonnet of a brand new black Tesla that we've covered in PPF wrap, and then I put some hot water on it, and it's all good again. It was a bit of a nervous one, that one. So paint protection film is one thing we did on this car, and that's a nice, if expensive, option to keep your car looking really good for a long time. And when I mention expensive, a whole car can cost £5,000 odd. It's an expensive material, and if there's any errors or mistakes, there's wastage, it gets expensive. Plus, you've got quite a lot of preparation to do before you cover the bodywork. You want to make sure this paint is perfect. A slightly cheaper option is just to cover the front end so it protects it from the stone chips. And I recommend, we've got this PPF kit that we do here, which just comes up onto this flank here to protect the stone chips off the front wheels onto this back panel. A cheaper option is ceramic coating. Now, ceramic coating is, again, you've got to prepare the bodywork really well, and then you put this liquid on there, which essentially, that hardens, and it gives it like an extra layer of lacquer, a tougher lacquer. And so there's a couple of things that does. One, it does help prevent the swirls and bird poo stains and things like that. They will gradually reoccur over time, but with the extra layer of lacquer, you've got more scope to then polish it down a bit as well. But it also just keeps the car smooth and shiny and easier to wash. And when we've done a ceramic coating, you can really feel just how much smoother that car is. So it typically costs anywhere between kind of £300 and a few £100, depending on which product and how long term that product is guaranteed to last. But that's a slightly cheaper option than the ceramic coating, the PPF. However, with ceramic coating, you can still pick up your stone chips and things like that. It doesn't prevent that, but it does make the car look really good and really shiny. If your car has a black interior, it would normally come with the wooden dashboard here and the wooden inserts into the doors here. Personally, I'm not such a fan of that, but if you don't like it, there's a few options. You can vinyl wrap that wood, but the trouble is it is grained, and the vinyl wrap is a very thin material, and it tends to not look brilliant. What we do here, and the product we sell, is this Alcantara wrap dashboard. So this is much thicker material that we cover and coat, and it just takes 5 minutes to swap over. If we had the part in stock, from your wooden dash to this Alcantara, which matches the trims here and the phone charger pad here. We've got a separate video where we cover a bit more about that and how that's installed. This is a really popular option and is available on the Model Y as well now. The Model Y and the Model X come as standard with darker tinted windows at the rear. However, the Model 3 and the Model S don't, so this is a really popular option. We do quite a lot of tinting. Can't do the front windows, but the back windows here, and then this whole back section of glass here. And we normally do this in a 20% tint, which means if you go like this, you can still just about see in, but it still remains nice and light inside. So it looks factory finish, and having this back glass here kind of removes what we call the bald patch. And I should know, the bit we can see through here. This is quite tough to do. It needs one big sheet to do the whole section of glass in one go. Quite a lot of companies around the UK are getting used to doing these now. If you just try and use a smaller roll and just do that bottom section, it looks a bit strange inside, so I suggest getting the whole back pane of glass done in one shot. This is an aftermarket carbon fibre spoiler that we sell, matte oil gloss finish. Looks good on the back of our long range. It's not a performance, but it looks exactly the same. Everyone in the UK is all excited picking up their Tesla Model Ys as we film this, and we pick up ours in a couple of days. However, I've got one here because the other friends from Germany at Custom Tesla, and we'll be working with them going forward. So again, check out, we'll be able to offer some of these services from our base here in the UK. Did you spot with this Model Y something? It's lower. So this has got a complete KW coilover suspension kit fitted, and that you can actually adjust the height. You can have it running basically a stock height, or you can have it lowered. So this one as it sits now is 40 millimeters lowered. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? So this is an interesting option. It makes a family SUV drive like a proper thoroughbred sports car. It's unbelievable, the stability, the direction change, and actually the ride is good as well. So I've driven this, I'm impressed by it. A car which you put the family in and do the commute in is unbelievably fast, unbelievable handling, and especially at higher speeds, you've got much better kind of body control and stability. So if you like a bit of lowering, it's available. There's a whole variety of different wheels available now for all the different Teslas. So you can choose any aftermarket wheels you like. You just got to make sure they've got the right fitment and staggered, but a wheel supplier would normally confirm that. One thing to be a little bit careful of, I think, is that these are quite heavy cars. So you've got to make sure that the wheels are suitably load rated and safe to drive. You're not just going to get a buckled wheel after a few miles. And then you've got a choice of tyres. In this case, this is actually wearing winter tyres at the moment. This one's got some 15mm spacers just to widen the stance a little bit. It looks pretty mean. The standard Tesla audio system I think is pretty good, especially in the long range models with the premium audio. I think it's very good actually. And it has a sub in the boot. However, if you want a little bit more sub, you can get that as well. This sounds absolutely phenomenal. Nice place to hide it under the boot floor there so you don't lose space in the boot. Now, there's a product that really helps even make that sound better, and that's fitting extra soundproof into the car. So that helps with the music sound system, especially when it's enhanced like this, but it makes it quieter on the road as well. So let me try and demonstrate what this is, right? This is a standard wing, and you can probably hear it's a normal front wing sound. Solid. And that's because the inside of all these panels has been lined with a variety of soundproofing materials, and you can hear it, you can feel it, even when you close the door. It's much more solid. So it's a product that's been developed by Custom Tesla in Germany, and they're over here demonstrating that to us now and showing us how to fit it. So it's something we'll be able to offer if you're interested. Do you remember me mentioning on one of the previous videos that one little gripe I've got with the Model 3 and the Model Y is that, especially in the dark ones, at night, you can't see the door handles. They've got no illumination, and you kind of fumble around on the panel looking for the handle, or you're getting your torch out of your pocket. However, on this one, presenting handles, and they're illuminated as well. Now that, I like a lot. So inside this Model 3, I've got a few things to show you. You've probably spotted already, this one's been fitted with a Yoke steering wheel. It's actually the original wheel which has been cut down and reshaped, but essentially you've got your original wheel here, and I'm going to make a separate video about driving with this Yoke, but it really makes quite a difference, and actually I was a bit skeptical, but I've grown to really like it. It's really cool. One of the benefits of a Yoke is if you have this screen here. Now, this is an additional screen that can be fitted, and there's a variety of options on here. You can scroll through here and show the clock and tyre pressures, and you can even show the horsepower output from the rear motor. Well, however, the main thing that I like that this does bring is CarPlay. I like a bit of Apple CarPlay. So again, here you've now got a choice of different mapping, Waze, better route planner. It's all on here. There's quite a lot of functionality to this. And interestingly, you can scroll through using the scroll wheel from the steering wheel. That all works on here. You can control everything with this. The only limitation to that is if you're on cruise control autopilot, then this takes priority for that, because the car always takes priority, and the scroll wheel here then controls your cruise control. But if you disable that, you can then scroll through your Apple Maps, have your map in there. I think that's a really great feature, and we're just working on the version for the right-hand drive. Then, this screen here. Now, what do you think about that? You can swivel this screen around to point towards the driver slightly. It actually sits slightly lower than the original one, and I quite like that. So again, we've got this big open, view here, which the Model 3 is great for. And then now this a bit lower, I can point it just slightly towards me, and again, it just kind of gives a more personal feeling to it and more of a cockpit feel. So I'm a big fan of this. Quite a simple thing to fit, and that's something that we'll be offering. And you can get a variety of different body kits for the car now. In this case, this one's had a completely different front bumper fitted. All the parking sensors are still fitted, and it still has its radar functions and cruise control. There's a few options out here. This one is a StarTech kit fitted this car. It's on the front here, and then also at the rear. And this is the back with a different rear bumper, different diffuser, and then it's got this extra spoiler bit top here. A few different suspension kits are available for Model 3 now. Probably depends what you want and what the budget is. If you want a full race setup, this one here has got some KW coilovers, and this is what a Model 3 performance looks like with 40 millimeters taken out of its height. You can even completely wrap the whole car with a vinyl material that literally gets put on, like a big sticker really, wrapped around, covers the whole bodywork. And you can choose whatever, well, you can choose from loads of colours, materials, finishes. There's a big variety out there now. And it actually protects the original paintwork from stone chips as well. If you don't want it anymore, or if you're going to sell the car, you're finished with it, or you want to change it, you can actually just peel it all off. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. There are more products you can get, but I think that was a pretty good run through of a few different things. Quite interesting, aren't they, some of them? So at least there's options out there to do some customization, modification, just personalise your car if you want it. So we must thank Custom Tester. They've been coming over here from Germany, they've been showing us these products, and then we're going to be working with them going forward so that we can help do some fittings of various things here in the UK as well. So if you're interested, let us know on our website, rsev.co.uk, and then look for the page that says other services, and we've got a whole variety of products there, including the ones we've just shown you. So thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.